Alright, so I wasn't really planning on filming any of me leveling the frets, but I thought this was worth mentioning. I, uh, I mean, we all know the drill. You loosen it up, you pull them out of the way, you tape them out of the way, you get your Sharpie, you mark them all off, you get your leveling beam. I went for like the finest grit I could for starting, well, not the finest I could, but I started with the fine grit. I started with the 600, hit them all up until all the orange was gone, and uh, and then I hit them with the Sharpie again, and did just a quick crowning file. Most of them were like, you just zoom it across, and pretty much the whole thing would go clean, which means it's pretty much already round. So yeah, I took so little material off that they didn't really need too much in the way of crowning. And then I came back with this guy, and nothing really changed. Yeah, I took off all the ink with the sandpaper, and I mean, you can see it left residue, but nothing really changed. Now, I don't know if that's because my stuff isn't tight enough, or because I was too fine a grit, or whatever, but now I'm down to doing it one by one, and it's working out a lot better. So, I go, okay, this guy is high, so then I hit it this way, just that one fret, and being sure not to tilt it so too far that I hit the fretboard. Could use tape, but I'm trying to be careful instead. Should probably use tape just in case I mess up. But yeah, I'm doing it that way, and then I come back in like I just finished this one. It's now actually level, and now I'm about to crown it just right quick. So, but yeah, so I don't know what the deal is. Maybe I just don't. Maybe I need a better leveling beam. But I would think that the edges at least should be good. So, but anyway, soldier on, right? Okay, just finished up polishing up the frets. These are not hemispherical fret ends here. They were already just rounded in the normal manner. But yeah, I got them all polished up. This is a great tool here. I think I paid like maybe $40 for this thing. It's a generic Dremel and comes with the flex attachment for like, $40. And so yeah, that's how I did this stuff. Real nice toy there, real nice. So I wiped off the excess oil before I started doing this, because obviously fret leveling dust and oily fretboards don't make for a good scene. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this up with a bit of naphtha right quick, and then I'm going to go ahead and put that second coat of oil back on it. Okay, back to determining the proper saddle height here. And I tried 2mm, basically a toothpick diameter, and that was a little too low. It was buzzing at the 15th, or everything above the 15th. 15th was a little high. So I cut some pickguard material at 3mm tall, and that seems to work just fine and gives you pretty decent action for an acoustic. And so I went ahead and measured out the bridge and marked it, and that's what I get. As far as like, now I need to grind it. Everything from the top of the black line down goes away, which is approximately 2mm all the way across. And that should put me where I want to be. So, yeah, I got the bench grinder set up outside on another one of these like little table things. All these tables, all it is you just get one of these plastic utility shelf things from like, Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever, whoever. and you just use one section of it, and it makes a nice little table. And they're sturdy enough without the bottom shelf on it. You put a bottom shelf on it, it's a lot sturdier. But yeah, I got bench grinder set up. I set up one of these tables next to the generator outside and got the bench grinder on it and put a chair out there. So now it's time to spend some time bringing this puppy down and then see how it all works out. Sure hope it's worth the effort. On second thought, I think I might try cutting a brass bridge first. And if that doesn't work, I can always try grinding this down. If that doesn't work, then I've got like a nylon or plastic or whatever bridge blank someplace around here, I know. And I can dig that thing up and just make a new bridge for it. I might also have like an original plastic bridge for one of these kind of guitars that I could just pop in there or sand down and pop in right fast. So, but yeah, I think I'm going to start by seeing if I can just cut one out of brass right quick here, sort of. Okay, I just cut a brass bridge from some brass sheet metal. Stuff's about, I think it's 0.2 or 0.3 mil thick, maybe 0.3. And the bridge is 4 mil tall and 72 mil wide. And so I just cut a really long, thin rectangle of brass, and then I just trimmed around these corners and sanded all 60 grit on the edges to keep it from being too sharp or anything. And then I polished the two faces with some 2000 to get it all nice and shiny. And popped it in, and it sounds really nice. It's not in tune yet, but yeah, so it seems to be getting a better tone here. It's sounding better than it was when I started working on it, I think. So, and the action's not too bad. You got to remember, it's an acoustic and it's got fall off too. So it's probably better to look at the action up here, where it's actually really pretty civilized for an acoustic guitar. So, so yeah, I'm going to put the number 1 string on it, the last string, and go ahead and tune it up. Okay, it's all tuned up, and I put the hold down bar back on and put locks on it, and it's got its new brass bridge on it. Nice thin brass bridge. You can see the piezo under it there, and you can see that the bridge is actually just, piece of sheet metal and not actually as thick as the bridge slot, but it seems to work fine. It's got a real nice tone now, so. Yeah, it's definitely, acoustically, it's sounding much better than when I first got my hands on this guitar. And I'd say that cosmetically it's looking a little better too. If you actually look over here, that's what the original front of this guitar looked like. This part here where the clear coat's peeled away. Yeah, the whole thing looked that way. It looked wasn't really that pretty at all. So yeah, I'm pleased, and I think at this point it's pretty much done. About the only thing left to do is let this oil on the fretboard finish drying, and like tomorrow, if it's still got any oil left that hasn't soaked in, just wipe it off, and that'll do it for this build. So, or this set of upgrades. So yeah, I'm quite pleased, and I think that this actually, unless I change my mind about the type of tuners or something like that, um, this is probably going to complete this guitar finally. It's got, it's looking good again, and it's got all the metal stuff going on now in the way of hardware. And these lightweight tuners really do make a difference. They really do make a difference. I was surprised, pleasantly surprised, because the thing was, it was back when I was working on it before. Um, when I first started these mods, I noticed that the tuners. I noticed that it was kind of heavy with the locking tuners on it, and so when I was thinking about doing lightweight tuners for like minimalist builds with minimalist headstocks and trying to cut down headstock mass and things like this, I was like, oh, maybe I should put some on this thing too. And it really did make a difference. It makes the guitar much, much lighter on the neck end, and so it's much easier to move the whole thing around because it's not. Before it's got less mass out here, so now it doesn't have as nearly as much rotational inertia as it used to. So, because it used to have a whole bunch of mass out here, and then you had this whole big heavy body here, and it was kind of like holding a dumbbell and then trying to twirl it like a baton. It tended, because you had these two big masses hanging out on the ends, it tended to resist being twirled. You could get it going, but it took a whole lot of torque at first. So yeah, this makes a big difference. It's very little effort to point the guitar this way or that way. So yeah, the neck and the headstock are much lighter, much easier to aim around, so to speak. So yeah, I'm overall pleased with this, and I think it's pretty much done now. Finally, it's got all the electronics and everything in it, and it's sounding decent acoustically. You still got to really be close to these holes in order to hear exactly how nice it is sounding acoustically. But even, just at normal playing distance and listening distance unplugged, it's noticeable improvement. So, but I wouldn't recommend going this route to anybody else. I mean, it's like it took me an awful lot of work to get here. Just go and find a nice one and just buy a nice one is what I would recommend. Or you can do what I did. I mean, it's like, let's see, the original guitar was like about $67, maybe $70, let's say. And then let's see, I've got let's say 70 for the guitar, 76 with tuners, maybe. Let's say 78. 88 with lock nut and bar. Let's see, pins. Set of pins, maybe $10. So you're up to 98. And then the electronics was like about $30. So you're up to, let's say you're up to 130. Keep it nice round numbers. And then it's that inlay stickers for, let's say, 15. So you're at like 145. And then you still got to clear coat the front and sand and paint the back and sand and shellac the neck. So yeah, it's a lot of work, man. And you can probably get the same thing all done up like this for about 165, or it might be more than that. Let me think. This would be a nicely electrified. I think these were. It was like 69, 109, or 129, and then 169 and 209 were the 4 price points for these guitars. And what that got you was a cheap acoustic, which is what I had started with. And then there was the cheap electroacoustic. And then there was the nice acoustic, and then the nice electroacoustic, which was around $200, as I recall. So, yeah, I don't know. I think I've got, what I say, 140, 160 into this. So, and the nice ones, I guess, are 200. So, if you want to buy one, so it might be worth it. It's hard to say. Of course, prices have gone up now, so yeah, inflation, but then again, the cost of a nice one probably has gone up too. And actually, the nice ones are probably a little nicer than what I've got here, but what I've got's close, so. That'll do it for this video. Everybody, have a good one.